Episode 30, oh my God, of Trying British Foods. I live in Manhattan and I have been told that this introduction is iconic, so I'm going to leave it in place exactly as it is. To drink this evening, I have this Fanta, it's Shakata? I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, someone will correct me. But this is blue, which is very intriguing to me. So this is a combination apparently of elderflower and lemon, which we have no equivalent of in the US. And now I'm not sure if this liquid is actually blue or if it's just the bottle. We'll see, I'll pour it into a glass and see. But regardless, we don't have blue soda at all in the US. I mean, I'm sure someone's gonna find some kind of exception, but as a general rule, we don't. And this actually, I'm gonna take this opportunity, this reminds me of one of my favorite lines from one of my favorite TV series ever, which is Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And this is a line that no one in the entire world thinks is funny except for me. So there is a minor character who has been out of the modern world for a few years, and she comes back and she's reacclimating to modern life. And she asks Buffy, what else is different since I've been gone? And Buffy says, Gatorade has a new flavor, blue. Then I have these Cadbury mini rolls. So now these are raspberry. They had several different flavors that I saw, but I've never had mini rolls at all. So these are the raspberry ones. And this one on the front, it says, I'm very tasty, which I can just imagine all of you rolling your eyes at that. But I ask you, who hasn't used that line before? I know I certainly have. This is a golden sponge with plum and raspberry jam and a vanilla flavor filling covered with milk chocolate. I have these Squashies drumsticks from Swizzles, I think. Now this is the original raspberry and milk flavor. I know there are other flavors of this I see on the back here. Very interested in this because milk as a flavor is something that we typically don't have in this format. I mean, we would mostly just say it's marshmallow. I don't think we would have like a milk flavor. So I'm very intrigued by that, to try that. Also, for those of you who are interested in this sort of thing, I get a lot of questions about how much money these items are costing me. Again, same response. These items are not that much more expensive than typical American groceries in Manhattan, with the occasional exception. This happens to be one of the exceptions. This actually was, relatively speaking, for what these are, pretty expensive for me to get. So these better be worth it. And then lastly, something that has been requested for a very long time from Cadbury as well, I have a double-decker. Now this, looking at this says it is milk chocolate with smooth, chewy nougat and crisp, crunchy cereal filling. The Shakata Fanta. And see, I've seen about this. You have now the caps that don't come off the bottles that drive Americans crazy. I see that, all right. It is not indeed blue liquid. Okay, just the bottle. Once again, this is proving the rule on this series that I've come up against over and over and over again, which is that I personally much prefer sodas from the UK. They just have significantly less sugar, a much crisper flavor, and just less, they're just not as heavy. They just feel a bit lighter, and they actually do feel refreshing. They taste really good as well. However, I also, at the same time, do understand I don't think this flavor would work in the US because it doesn't have enough sugar. It is just really crisp and light and almost medicinal in a way. I've said that about elderflower before, almost like adjacent to tea, but if you can imagine that carbonated into a soda. So I really like this, but I'm pretty sure the rest of America would not. Cadbury mini rolls. They're individually wrapped, which is very nice. Not a terribly big fan of these, I have to be honest. I think there is just way too much sponge. There's hardly any raspberry in this, so I imagine that proportion would be same for other flavors that they have. I'm sure you have an orange one that people can't get enough of. But there's just a lot of sponge, not very much chocolate. The ratios are off. I think that's the problem. Ratios are off, making this feel just very dry and very processed. Actually somewhat similar to our Twinkies, if you, added chocolate to it. That's kind of what this is in a very rough way. I'm not really a big fan of these, I have to say. What does that say? Oh, I'm on a roll. Oh boy. And the Squashies drumsticks. So these are extremely, extremely soft. These are incredibly good. I don't know if it's this milk flavor or what exactly is in this, but everything about this works at the perfect level. These are my favorite gummies I have had on this entire series, even better than the Percy Pigs. I'm sorry, I said it. Give me a bag of these any day. Thank you so much to the people who recommended these because these are really, really good. And then the Double Decker. Oh, this is very interesting. So this is going to be a very funny sentence to say, but your nougat is different from ours. Yours has a lot more flavor. It almost has this kind of like nuttier flavor, whereas ours is almost kind of tasteless. It's really more just about texture, which makes this a very, very different experience from, say, like what our Milky Way is. Our Milky Way is different from your Milky Way, or like a Three Musketeers bar here. Nougat's very different. So this is very much a much richer taste than what I was expecting. Thank you very much for your recommendations, and I'll see you next time.